Today we're going to talk about getting your car ready for Cars and Coffee event. So it's Friday night, just finished dinner, car's in the garage, but you know you have to get up at 6:30 tomorrow morning to make sure you get that prime spot at your local Cars and Coffee. This is a car that maybe has been sitting around for a little while, kind of dusty, winter dust, because it's been in the garage the whole time. So what we're going to do is, basically, I'll show you how to clean the car using Speed Shine or a quick detailer, and without washing. We're going to be using a quick detail today. One of the reasons that we're going to do that is if we wash this car, it's going to take forever. By the time we wash it and soap it up, especially if you use a foam cannon or something like that, you still have all that time to dry and clean the car. Oh, it's just a mess. Any modern quick detailer will clean a car like this that's just dusty without all that dragging out the hose and taking 2-3 hours to wash. Although you might think that doing this process scratches your paint, I assure you that it really doesn't. This is the method that I prefer, and I would use this on virtually anything I would work on. You can do this whole process on virtually any kind of car, from $30 million Ferraris to Sunbeam Tigers. So let's get started. Fold the towel into quarters, like that, and you spray your product, making sure it's just a light mist. You don't want to use too much or too little, but that's sort of a feel thing. You'll get used to it pretty quickly. Wipe on a wet side, flip it over, hit it with the dry side, and that fender's done. Just a little side note, right now I don't have any music on in the background. There's a number of reasons for that. This is the most important step in that you're trying to avoid any kind of scratches in the surface. If you're wiping a car down with a quick detailer of some kind, if you hear you may hear something. If you pick up a piece of dirt, it'll make a very sharp sound and you'll hear it immediately. So, at least for the initial step, you want to be listening to what's going on there. Very rarely does it happen, but when it does, it'll ruin your day. But the idea too is that you want to do, when you clean anything or polish any of these cars, is to use straight lines and short strokes to clean it. This way, if you do pick up a piece of dirt, you're only getting something like this. We'll address that more when we get to the clay bar aspect, and you'll see how the clay bar reacts and how it's supposed to work. And then you'll see if something is picked up and there is a minor scratch, it's a lot easier to take out something this long than this long, or something that's a straight line this long, or a big swirl. We're hoping none of that happens today, but I'll explain that process as we go into the clay bar. We're coming into a very interesting point right now. If you notice, I'm wiping the top, working my way down this quarter panel. What I won't do is this bottom edge. What I typically will do there is use a different microfiber towel, maybe an older one. That way, it's very dirty here. You lube it up with plenty of material, and then use one of your older microfiber towels to wipe that area down so you can pick up any heavy dirt. And then make sure that towel is only used for rockers or undercarriage or whatever. But keep a towel that's sort of dedicated to that particular job. I don't use these really nice towels until they're practically worn out and have been washed probably 20 times, and then they'll get that job. But for right now, we want to keep the best towels, the top surfaces, to prevent any kind of damage to the paint. Don't worry about getting overspray on the chrome, because you will do that as well. So if you're working the fender into the bumper or something like that, don't worry, you'll get to it eventually, but it'll come right off. It dries pretty quickly, and you may see residue that's dried on there. Just add a little bit more of the detailer and it will come right off. Next, we're going to go to a clay bar. I've always used the original style clay bars. There have been many different variations. I'm sure you're well aware of the ones that look like something you would play with in kindergarten. This is the newer technology clay pad. This is synthetic clay, rubberized surface attached to a foam pad. And now the fun starts. We're going to do the same thing with our towels, fold it into quarters, so we always have it handy. What I like to do with these pads, and this is a very quick process, not like the old clay bars where you're constantly flipping it and folding it and things like that. This is as simple as it gets, which is one of the reasons I wanted to kind of show you how these new pads work. So we're going to do just straight lines, and you can feel it immediately cut. And in this case, you probably cannot hear it, but it is making a pretty nasty scouring sound. But as I go back the opposite direction, it's gone. It's quiet. So you know it's working. So let's take this off, flip it over to dry side, and there you go. And immediately you can see it and you can feel that it's completely smooth now. It's great. So easy to use. So we're going to move into a different section now. I try to keep the sections relatively small. Again, this way, if we do pick up some kind of weird debris, we only have a little mark to take out. Short strokes, nice and easy. Hardly any pressure on the pad, just minor pressure. You're not grinding it in. You're trying to clean the surface, not the primer. So you just want to go very lightly and move it back and forth. Just make sure you get good coverage. Don't leave any striping. If you're concerned about that, just go back the opposite direction. So it's probably difficult to see in the camera angle, but the car is a lot shinier all of a sudden. Basically, we did the entire hood and the side of the car. Now, this is a relatively small car. One of the things I would do now, just real quick, and it really, I think it's a matter of just something that I prefer to do, but I usually take the little bit of speed shine and just sort of douse my pad like this, rinse it off with it, and then just pat it dry. Trying to pick up any, so just in case you picked up something, now it went away, make sure you get the edge. And this towel is very wet, so we're going to switch and get a new towel. And now we're ready for the next and final step. Today we're going to be using the ceramic 3-in-1 from Griot's. There are a number of these new products that have just come out. Everybody's got them these days. They're a spray-on ceramic. Everyone thinks, once the car is clean and you put this on as a final step, you can use it prior to, or I use it instead of wax, basically. And you can actually layer this stuff to give real depth and gloss. What I like about it is it keeps the car cleaner longer. It's super, it makes the water bead incredibly well. So on a rainy day, if you get caught in the rain, it's going to be easy to maintain and clean up. But what I find though is the real benefit is just that. At the end of the day, maintaining the finish is 10 times easier. Now they say it lasts up to a year. I guess it depends on your driving or whatever. The jury's still out on a lot of that stuff, but these new ceramics are fantastic. They're a lot easier to use than the old stuff that was really volatile and very difficult to use on paint. This is spray and wipe, and it makes you look like a hero. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to use one of their new PFM towels. These are great for doing this type of work. And I always dedicate these to doing just the ceramic coats because it's easier. And I know which ones I've used on wax and which ones I've used on ceramics. So to get started, it's just like your spray on wax. Just mist on a light coat. We're going to fold the towel. This one only folds in half. That's all we need. Like that. For me, it's all about time. I don't have time. That's one thing you can never find again. So I try to get the stuff that works most efficiently and gives you the biggest bang for the buck. One of the things I try to do, and we talked about this before making this video, is I try to find products that are available to just about everybody. And the reason for that is if I'm working on a car in Des Moines, Iowa, and I run out of something, or something breaks in my luggage, then I have the ability to go right to an auto parts store and buy it. Sure, I can have stuff flown in all over the country, you can always do that, but I find it that if it's something that you can use and it's easy, why not? It's so much better, so much easier. And also helps, promote the economy, so that's not a bad thing. So that's my 3 cents of products. Now we're back to the wheels and tires while the car is sitting here getting comfortable. Using the foaming tire cleaner from Griot's. So we just cleaned the tire part, and again I'm using an old microfiber towel because it's probably not going to make another day. So find one that's pretty ratty, it's easy to clean with. So this, as I said, was a foaming tire cleaner, and it works wonders on wheels as well, as you can see. Okay, once the tires are dry, then we'll go back and we'll dress them. And you can, whatever the preferred dressing is for you. I know a lot of people like the greasy, slimy tire shine look. That's fine, not my thing. But I'll give you the option as to whatever you want to use on here. I like just a natural finish. Sometimes on some tires, on show cars, I don't even put a dressing on them because the tires look so good once they're cleaned. So, but for, whatever you prefer. Let's do the rear bumper real quick. If your chrome's in good shape and it's just a matter of cleaning it up, break out the glass cleaner first. If you need to go heavier than that, then do it. But, a lot of times you're going to find that light film or crust that's on there will come right off with glass cleaner. So quick and easy to do the chrome. This gets all the bugs off. It'll make it look beautiful without any work. Don't get out the chrome polish and waste all day. You don't need to. Just knock that right out. And time to move into the interior. So it's a wet side, dry side. I also do these moldings too. These are stainless on this car. So I can run my hand around them and use the glass cleaner and make them look shiny. And that's all we're really after, is just to make them look clean. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're not going to be polishing every little bit of everything. But we want it to just look presentable, that when you get there, it looks like you spent all day, but you only spent an hour. There are some cars that are really difficult to do the glass. And you can use some of those wands that they make for glass cleaning. They work really well. Or, again, getting back to the paint stick, chopstick, whatever it takes, paint stick, 10-foot long pole, doesn't matter, whatever you're using, just to get up in there. All right, so that was your 1 hour detail, getting a car ready for Cars and Coffee. A couple of quick things to note before you get on the road. Make sure you check all your tire pressures. Make sure you've got enough fuel for tomorrow, and always check your oil. So I hope you enjoyed this, and let us know what you think. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at classicmotorsports.com. Thanks.
Support brands that support Classic Motorsports. Get your chemical solutions from CRC Industries. Visit crcindustries.com to learn more.